Hey, what's up guys and gals? It's the Tyrant here. Happy Saturday to you and welcome back to my weekly Q&A where you guys ask the questions and I give you the answers. It's my favorite time of the week. I get to sit down and just be candid with you guys, my good friends here at the Mythic Tyrant community. Before we get started, I do want to give a special shout out to my boy CFunk99. He's a regular contributor here at the Q&As and he's been a premium member of my site since close to the beginning, but he recently just upgraded his account to a Team Tyrant account. So everyone give him a round of applause. That's a big help. Thank you so much, Funk99. I definitely appreciate it. Good to have you aboard. For those of you who aren't familiar with the whole Team Tyrant concept, basically, if you're a Team Tyrant donor in the premium field, then we have community game nights that we're going to hold from time to time. We just held our first one, which I'll talk about in a second. And so that sort of gets you in, so we can actually play together. We just held our first one, and only Chris Wood was able to show up, which that's not to say anything about him. He's a fantastic player. Had a great time with him. He was a great guy, and we were on for, if Chris is watching right now, I think for what, a couple of hours at least. It was a lot of fun. Time just got away from me. It was nice just to sit back and relax and have a good time. And so anyone with Team Tyrant status can do that. Now, I am going to say going forward, I'm going to sort of have a probation period when people join up. And the reason I'm doing that is because I noticed at least one person who pledged a certain amount and they never actually paid it. So I don't want to give someone that they didn't, or give someone something they didn't earn while other people are actually, paying money or paying real money for it. I may have an exception for Funk simply because he's actually been a premium member for a while now. For those of you who don't know, if you want to become a premium member, it starts as little as $1 a month. I'll throw a link up here. It's on my Patreon site, and essentially there's different levels that you can join depending on how much you're willing to donate, and there are rewards that are given. And if we can actually get enough donors, not only will it save this site because I need it, unfortunately because of the whole adpocalypse scenario and what YouTube has done to try to correct it, which has made things worse. And so basically Patreon, if I can get my goal reached, will help save my site so I don't have to quit doing this stuff next year. So definitely check it out. And of course, if we can get things stabilized there, we're going to start having regular contests too, where any premium member can win lots of cool prizes. And I did sort of a demo of that earlier this year by giving out free copies of Halo Wars 2 Ultimate Edition. So definitely check it out. Again, thank you CFunk99 for upgrading your status. Chris Wood, it was awesome playing with you guys this weekend. There is a special thread in our community Discord. I'll just do a sidebar for a second. For everyone who becomes a patron of my site, who becomes a premium member, you get an email that will send you a temporary link that only works for you to the community Discord. And it only lasts for about a day or so. So if you become a patron, definitely check your email right away. It'll get you in. And for those who are in the Team Tyrant ranks, there is a special thread for you in the Discord, and that's where we'll post information about future community game nights and stuff. So definitely check that out as well. So again, thank you all who are participating out there, and thank you for helping me save this site. So we're going to go ahead and move on with the Q&A. For those of you who don't know how to submit questions, it's simple. All you have to do is ask your question in the comment section below, label it with Q&A or something like that, and it'll be put into consideration for next week. Also, you can hit me up on Twitter at MythicTyrant. If you're not already following me, it's definitely a good thing to do that. You get to have conversations with me, other major Halo YouTubers like Hidden Xperia, Actman, Late Night Gaming, and of course 343 and Bungie as well. So definitely hit me up on there too. Usually I pick about 10 questions, give or take a week, and then I go from there. And of course, if you're a premium member, you can hit me up in the Discord. So that's another way for you to do it. Just post it in the general chat, and I'll be sure to see it. So let's go ahead and get started. Our first question of the week comes from Shane Howard. And Shane asks, Tyrant, would you rather buy Halo 4 or Halo 5 Guardians? I don't always have the most popular opinion when it comes to these things, but for me personally, it would be Halo 5 Guardians. The story, I think most of us can agree, was complete and utter nonsense. But having said that, the mechanics are what more than made up for it. The gameplay was a lot better than Halo 4's in my opinion. The levels were bigger. Big team battle, it feels great. Warzone and Warzone Firefight are both game types that I love very much. And so I'd have to go with that. I loved Halo 4's story more, but as I've said with Hidden Xperia in the past, Basically, when it comes to video games, I prefer having better gameplay over a better story. Story is icing on the cake. And just so you know, I'm actually in the process of ranking all the Halo games in a series of videos. I'm about halfway through. The last one I did was Halo 4, and the one that I'm going to try to get to this week is the one for Halo 5 Guardians. So that's a good question, Shane, and I appreciate you bringing it up, man. Our next question comes from Aussie Bloke. And Ozzy asks, what do you think of the title Sierra 117 as a suggestion for the game containing the Master Chief's final outing? You know, I don't think that would be a good title for Master Chief leaving the series. I think it would be a better title for him entering the series. Maybe an origin story of the Master Chief. Maybe taking segments out of Halo The Fall of Reach and turning it into a game. I could see that being called Sierra 117 or even Halo Sierra 117. I think that would be a better idea, but you tell me, Ozzy, which would you rather prefer? A game called Sierra 117 that explains the origins of the Master Chief and him becoming a Spartan, or one exiting? Let me know in the comments below, my friend. Our next question comes from the Storyteller channel. And Storyteller asks, hey Tyrant, Halo Q&A, I don't know how you stand on Halo Wars 2, but what are your thoughts of the catastrophic failure that was Halo Wars 2 overall, or Halo Wars 2's overall sales, and how the Halo Wars timeline is more than likely to be canceled? So I don't know if it's going to be canceled or not. I would think they would do a third one, well, unless, you know, Halo Wars 2, which as many suspect, and 343's already said, is going to lead into Halo 6. Here's the thing, though. I haven't actually checked on the sales for Halo Wars 2, but I did look at the sales for the original Halo Wars, and there's a good reason why those sales are typically down. You have to understand that when people think of a Halo game, they think of a first-person shooter. Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2 are both real-time strategy games. It's a completely different game type. So not everyone is going to look at that, you know, just because they're Halo fans and pick it up, because it's completely different gameplay. Now, granted, there are some people that might pick it up because it's not a first-person shooter. Maybe it introduces them to the Halo universe and they don't like first-person shooters, but they love real-time strategy games. Or some of them are like me, where they love both. You know, I'm a huge fan of the Command & Conquer series from way back in the day. Still haven't gotten around to StarCraft yet, but will eventually. And I even love Age of Empires. I think I played the third one, but I haven't played the others. But, you know, so it's not going to translate well for everybody. Just because you're a Halo fan doesn't mean you're willing to play a different game type. I don't think that's a reflection on the game personally. I enjoyed Halo Wars for the most part. I've had my nitpicks with it, and it is what it is. But I don't think it was a bad game by any means. I thought it was a good game, but because it's not a first-person shooter, not all Halo fans are going to play it. So I hope that answers your question, Storyteller, and thank you. I appreciate it, my friend. Our next question comes from Michael Mixon. And Michael asks, if Halo Reach's story was more focused on the characters other than the defense of Reach, would you like the story more? No. My issue wasn't whether or not the story was character-based, it was how it was presented to begin with. Halo Combat Evolved was not a character-based story, it was a setting-based story, just like Reach was. Here's the problem. My main qualms with the story primarily was the fact that it retconned what I already thought was established Halo lore. I'm talking about, of course, Halo The Fall of Reach. And I've talked to my colleagues about this. They feel the same way. Most of them anyway, not all of them. But it wasn't the same. And that pretty much devalued the books for me. And it's funny that I talk about that because in reviews when I talk about how they rely, at least the current Halo games rely too much on outside lore, and people are like, no, it's more than just a game series. I'm like, no, first and foremost, Halo is a video game series. Even ask the developers on that one. But here's the thing. Because of what Reach did in terms of retconning the story, even if it was just minor things, well, they weren't even that minor, to be honest with you. But that made me just lose interest in the books entirely. I stopped taking the books seriously. And now we have the opposite problem where the current developers take the books too seriously. And so I lost interest in reading the Halo books after Reach came out. Prior to that, I'd read The Fall of Reach, The Flood, and First Strike, and I'd gotten through some of Onyx, but then Halo 3 came out, and so all my focus was on the game itself. So to go back and answer your question, no, it wouldn't have made a difference. If they had made the video game more true to The Fall of Reach, or at least the time period where in The Fall of Reach, Reach itself actually takes place, maybe a few events leading up to it, it would have been a different story. but they just retconned the whole scenario, and to me that took a lot of the fun out of it. A lot of common sense errors were made in the game too, in terms of things that just didn't make sense to me in terms of how the Halo universe had been established thus far, so it wouldn't have made a difference. But I hope that answers your question, Michael. Thank you. Our next question comes from my boy Mark Ciccolella. Always good to hear from you, Mark. And he asks, if asked, would you play Time Splitters Future Perfect if it is confirmed as part of the OG Xbox backwards compatibility program? So I'm going to kind of put this in the category with other external Halo game requests that I've been getting. You know, it's funny that people ask me this because, you know, I bought probably a dozen games within the last couple of years that I've never been able to fully enjoy or play, primarily because this is a Halo-based channel, or at least that's what people tend to think it is. I never really wanted it to be that way. I just wanted Halo to be my flagship. I wanted to be able to play other games and have fun with other games. But whenever I play something else, people aren't interested. Well, I take that back. Some people are interested, but most are not. My main concern right now is just saving this site so that it can continue throughout 2018 and beyond. And I think in order to do that, I'm still going to have to primarily focus on Halo. So if I can save the site, then I'll consider doing other games down the road that are outside of the Halo universe. But right now, I think I'm just going to have Halo as my main thing. The only other game I'm planning on playing and then featuring on the site is Star Wars Battlefront 2, and that comes out in a few weeks. Other than that, I really don't have any plans to introduce any new games anytime in the near future, but I appreciate it, Mark. Like I said, if I can save the site, if I can get this community together, we can save it together, then I'll start looking at taking a request after that. So I hope that answers your question, my friend. Our next question comes from Onyx A314. And Onyx asks, what is your favorite weapon in all of Halo? Personally, I have to say the Halo 3 Gravity Hammer. I love the way it works. I love the way it operates. I love the fact that because of the Gravity Hammer, we have the introduction of Griffball, which is one of my favorite multiplayer game types. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for asking, Onyx. That's a short and sweet one. I love them. Our next question comes from Darkiel Gaming. And Darkiel asks, Halo Q&A, can you do a video about the best Halo villains? Oh, yes, I can. As a matter of fact, I did earlier this year. So good news, I have a video already on the site. It's called the Top 10 Halo Villains of All Time. I think that's what it's called. I don't know if there's any other words in there, but I think it's called Top 10 Halo Villains of All Time. And I list them. Some people don't agree with my list, but you know, I've been playing Halo for 16 years, so I feel like I've got a say in it. But yeah, so the video is already on there. Just look it up, my friend, and good question. Thank you. Our next question comes from Colin Jones. And Colin asks, if Halo 6 ended up like more of a Mass Effect type game with choices of where you can go with massive complications and squad choices, do you think it would be well received by the Halo community? I think that it would be well received by some. I've actually pitched this idea before where the next Halo game should be a little bit more open world, where as you progress, you can choose where you want to go next per mission so that you get different endings. You can sort of play the story out as you want it to go. And that way you can sort of choose your own ending. I think no matter what, you're going to have people who say, this doesn't feel like Halo. It's going to happen no matter what. Personally, I think that would be a good route to go, and when people sort of get used to the idea, I think they'll warm up to it. I think that, you know, Halo's always, or at least it was established as a semi-open world type game, and I think this would open it up to more possibilities, and so that it would also increase the life of the campaign, the replayability of the campaign, and I hope they do something like that. So I don't know how the Halo community would react, but my hope is that even if it's something different and scary at first, that they'll warm up to it later. So thanks for asking that question, Colin Jones. I appreciate it. Our next question comes from C-Donator, okay. And C-Donator asks, would 343 focusing on porting Halo 3 to PC for better, would it be better than focusing on Halo 6? No, it wouldn't be, at least in my opinion. I would rather them come out with Halo 6 first and then work on porting either the Master Chief Collection to PC or Halo 3 to PC or all the above. And I've talked about this in previous videos where I think that we may see in the future the Master Chief Collection getting a Windows update that allows you to play it on Xbox anywhere, so that would allow you to play it on PC without having to buy a separate copy of the game. But right now, I don't want them to make it the same mistakes they did with Halo 5, because between Halo 4 and Halo 5, they came out with the Master Chief Collection, Halo Spartan Assault, Halo Spartan Strike, while also continuing to update Halo 4, releasing all sorts of media like books and movies and all that stuff, and really they just need to focus on one game. And I think that was probably why Halo 5 had such a lackluster release, is because they had so much going on. You know, I'd love to see Halo 3 in the long run, but right now, since we already had a cliffhanger for Halo 5, and technically we had 2 cliffhangers for Halo Wars 2, I'd like to see a resolution sooner rather than later. So let them work on that first. Once they're done with Halo 6 or whatever the next major Halo title is called, then, and only then, they should start working on other things. Things that may be in the Halo universe but outside the main storyline, or making other games that are that have already come out, Xbox, or that are already on the Xbox, make them PC compatible. So I hope that answers your question, Sweetinator, and thank you. And our final question of the week, our star question, comes from Austin K. Man, he's been in home runs on these Q&As lately. And Austin asks, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, microtransactions are probably going to be a part of Halo 6. How would you incorporate them so that they're fair, well-balanced, and not hated by the community? This is an excellent question. So here's the thing. I look at microtransactions in Halo as sort of 2 different fields. First of all, you have rec packs. And then you have spending money. In Halo 5 Guardians, you can acquire rec packs in one of 2 ways. You can either earn them in-game. I take that back, 3 ways. You can either earn them in-game. 343 can issue them to you for special occasions or achievements or whatever. And 3, I should say, you can purchase them. And the funny thing is, I accidentally purchased one once. I didn't mean to. I was clicking on it just to see what it was. And I wasn't really familiar with the UI, and I accidentally bought it, and I was like, son of a bitch. And it was one of the $100 ones. Yeah, I did that by accident. $100 I'll never see again. What's even funnier is prior to that, I had rec packs I had never used before because I really wasn't that familiar with them. I had been playing regular Warzone. This was back in 2016 before the title update. And so I didn't really understand what rec packs were. I just saw people appearing in tanks when I wasn't already seeing tanks on the map. So I was like, what's going on here? And so when I started getting used to Warzone Firefight and I saw all the rec packs that I had accumulated over the last year, I was like, whoa. And so I was trying to gift one and see its contents, only to realize that that's not what it was, and I accidentally bought it for myself, and I was like, well, crap. So here's my take on it. First of all, microtransactions do not belong in mainstream gaming. I don't care if they're in mobile apps, that's fine. But in mainstream gaming, we've had this for, what, decades now. We already pay enough for the game at launch. Usually, on average, they're $60. If you want to buy the special editions, it goes from like $80 to $100. Some even more expensive than that. We don't need to pay more bullshit money just so that people can get ahead in the game. Basically, that just means the rich win. Or pay to win, and I don't accept that. Before I go off on anything else, it's gotten so bad that the new game Call of Duty World War II is now rubbing it in your face. They even have an achievement for you watching someone else open up one of their requisition packs, and I'm like, what the hell? Are you kidding me? Because now you can actually see it in game, apparently. So I'm just sitting there like, what are you thinking? Here's how I think it would be more fair. You don't buy them. I don't mind them keeping rec packs. Rec packs in general, especially if they're only for certain games, and in Halo 5 Guardians case, it's Warzone and Warzone Firefight. At least I don't think there's more than that. Make it in-game only. You can earn points in-game. You can buy them with the points you earn, kind of like what the credit system Reach had, because you can do that already in Halo 5 Guardians, but I think it should be based on that, or based on certain achievements that you get while playing, or certain goals you're able to achieve while playing. Every rec pack you should be able to earn in-game. Everyone should have an equal opportunity to achieve these, or to earn these rec packs. because not everyone has that kind of money to spend. I don't have that kind of money to spend. Believe me, I was freaking out when I accidentally bought that rec pack. And so, or that rec pack bundle, I should say. And it's just not fair to people who just buy the game. You know, they save and they save and they finally can afford to buy that new, fresh copy of Halo. And now they find out if they want to get ahead in multiplayer at all, they have to pay more money? No. It should be based off of gameplay. To me, that would be the best way to do it. It'd make it more balanced. I think in terms of how they actually introduced the rec packs and how they're currently used, if you took the money factor out of it, Halo 5 Guardians does pretty well. Basically, as waves go on, collectively, you and your team can access better requisitions. And I think the way they did that was fine. But again, you cannot force people to buy that type of thing or put people who can't afford it to an automatic disadvantage. It's not fair. It's not right. Halo Reach, if that game taught us anything, is that if you're willing to play enough, you can get what you want. And that's what I think it should be based off of. Not how much money you have, but how loyal you are to the game, how addicted you are to the game, how much you play the game. That should be it. I feel like that should be the code across the board. Leave microtransactions to the mobile apps. There are enough suckers out there who buy those. And I've been one before, by the way, back when I was an IT engineer. But generally speaking, for the mainstream games, you know, you have to consider who buys these. You know, it's not just adults, it's kids too. And so you have to put yourselves in their shoes. You know, whether or not they should be even getting these games to begin with, that's a debate for another day. But younger people who are under the age of 18, who don't have a credit card or a debit card, I should say, who don't have a bank account, and they can't do it. You know, a 17-year-old can't, at least the last time I checked, at least not in my state, can't get a checking account by themselves in their own name, or a debit card for that matter. So that automatically puts that 17-year-old at a disadvantage because they can't actually spend the money. And I don't think anyone should have to. Make it based on gameplay, make it based on skill, your achievements, your accomplishments, not money-based. That just cheapens the whole thing. That's how I would make it fair. Take out the actual microtransactions and just make rec packs things you can earn in-game. I know that was a bit long-winded, but I hope that answered your question, Austin K. And I want you guys to tell me in the comments below, what do you think of requisition packs? Would you be willing to let them stick around for certain game types in future Halo games if they were made only obtainable through what you did in-game and not something that you would have to pay for? You can let me know in the comments below or hit me up on Twitter at MythicTyrant. A link to my Twitter feed can be found in the description below. And if you want to become a premium member of the site for as little as $1 a month, get rewards based on how much you're willing to donate, access to our exclusive community Discord, as well as future contests, and help keep this site going through 2018 and beyond, check out my Patreon site today and welcome yourself into the premium community. And of course, the holidays are coming up, so if you don't want to make monthly donations, even if it's as little as $1 a month, I do understand. We have a new Mythic Tyrant store. Check that out. We have dozens of different items you can choose from. We have t-shirts, USB drives, notebooks, wireless keyboards, you name it. Check it out today. Again, the holidays are coming up. Could be a special treat. And if you like this video and you want to see more and you want to stay up to date on all your Halo news, tips, tricks, and secrets, don't forget to click that subscribe button for more great content every single day right here on MythicTyrant.com. And if you want to be one of the first to see the video and be the first to comment, don't forget to hit that bell icon, that notification icon, so you can get notified as soon as a video comes out. Thanks so much, guys and gals, for watching. I certainly do appreciate it. I hope every single one of you has an awesome weekend. I will catch you all right back here next time. And as always, I'm the Tyrant, signing off.